Alright guys, welcome to the stream. Today we are going to finally get started with some real documentation showing you guys how to use our stuff because the software is mostly done. There are some things we might want to do, but for now we're gonna get into like what did we do the past couple of months, how can you do this, how can you do this as an iGEM team, obviously, like with some applications there are some resource limits you might run into. So we're going to show you some online alternatives for these tools. We're going to show you some specific stuff for Mesa, which we also mentioned in the tool. We're going to show you our tool. And then if we get to it, we'll get into some fine details. There's some UI things we still want to do. I mentioned yesterday that we got a nice commit from one of my teammates. I will just quickly show you this, which makes navigating the app much easier, and this is really a cool thing. However, we've had to modify an existing Streamlit package. Oh, well, I guess it doesn't work right away. Why? Nice, welcome to debugging Streamlit applications in the morning. Oh, okay, let's see here. I'm just gonna look through the installed packages because I thought I'd installed it. Yeah, that's not great. I swear guys, yesterday evening this was working. Okay, let's see. So we have the wheel right here. Let's just uninstall it. So click uninstall. Oops. Yes. And then we can reinstall. Let's see if that works. If we just quickly grep nav. No. Okay, good. Dependencies. Streamlit scroll navigation.wheel. Let's reinstall that. Let's see if it works now. Hopefully it does. Let's rerun Streamlit. Still doesn't work. No, that's not great. Why does it suddenly not work anymore? So I guess maybe it wasn't working. And I just assumed that it did. But I still had the like source Streamlit folder in there. And maybe that's just where it got these files from and it just worked. That's obviously a problem. Dang it. Let's see. Okay, then I guess I'm gonna have to redo this. And maybe, yeah, okay. Assuming this one is not modified yet. Nope, this is the correct code. Well, good to know. Yeah, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Oh, dang it. Unfortunately, yeah, it appears that it doesn't just straight up work, so I guess I must have done something wrong there. Yeah, like I said, I'm assuming I had both folders. I had this folder in the directory structure, and it just worked due to that reason, but it wouldn't have actually worked via just installation of the wheel file. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, we should now have a build. once we run npm build. What? Npm run build. Okay, and then now we can go one directory up and do python -m build. Thought I installed that. Oh, right, we have to set this environment variable really quickly. And then the name is Streamlit Scroll Navigation, and we want to set that to 1.2.2. I just, oh no. I see. Okay. Now if we rerun this Python build, that should work. That's just because if you check out the pyproject.toml, you can see here that it requires setup tools, and setup tools tries to automatically figure out the version of the package from Git repos, but we don't have any of this in here because we're just cloning like the code, and so yeah, we have to do this manually. Okay, so unfortunately, apparently the wheel itself doesn't work. I'm curious if maybe the tar would work. So yeah, if we go in there in the dist directory, check this out, pip install, yeah, this one. Oh, first let's uninstall scroll navigation. Let's get rid of all of that. And then we install this, pip install, yes. Okay. Maybe that contained the correct files. Let's just quickly check down here. Okay. We'll see. And that again. Yeah, okay, that doesn't work. Yikes. So I mean, we could just include the directory. That would definitely work. Yeah. I think that's. Let me just quickly Google if there's a way to like package all of this properly, because apparently it's not doing that. So yeah, see if we can figure that out. Let me just quickly show you the guide that I'm reading. So this is just the Streamlit guide. I want to see if there's anything in here that I might have missed. Let's look at this component template. Because yeah, we could probably just include this directory and that would work. However, I would rather include just the wheel file, make it a bit simpler. Because yeah, obviously then you don't have this random, directory in here. This yeah, might end up being a solution, but let's just see. Okay. Let's download this zip file. Check that out. Okay, I'm just gonna put this directory in here as well, and then we can compare these two. There we nope, don't add any of that. Okay, so in terms of structure, I think, yeah, this is fine, but let's see. What does this have? This create a component API in a single line of Python. Okay. Build the components frontend out of HTML and JavaScript or TypeScript, whatever you fancy. React supported but not required. Okay, quick start. Sure, you have all of these installed. I do. Clone this repo, create a new virtual environment, go into template. Yeah, yep. Go into frontend, run build. We did this. I guess you could, start it, but huh. Well, that's not too ideal. I mean, I love this. If all goes well, you should see something like this. Come on. Okay. And this is in the template directory. Oh, so this is in here. Right? Yeah. So yeah, this is the equivalent of this directory. No, this is fine. So maybe the issue is with doing it with the wheel. Maybe that's the problem. So let's just try installing the component instead. Yeah, if we just go in here, we rm the dist directory. Oh, okay. Then we have this stuff, which is exactly what we had from, yeah, okay, so now if we do pip install, I mean, we can do -e, sure, and then we install this, maybe that works. Okay, that's definitely installing a lot more stuff. Let's see if it works now. Oh man, you're still on the browser. Well, let's refresh this. Yay, it works. Nice. Okay, so it's not a solution with just the wheel file. But you know, somehow this has to be possible too. However, for now I can just show you. We now have this nice graphic over here, and so the only thing that we need to do now is have this like ready at startup, and then also depending on your state, we would want it to change what's available. So for example, if you turn on off transmembrane design, we wouldn't want the outer linker or the transmembrane domain. Well, I guess we would still want the linker, but we would call it linker. And then for the intracellular components, if you have split tyrosinase, or sorry, split protease, then we wouldn't want this design. We would want like a split design, but if you do want separate chains, then this would be fine. Also, we got some feedback that apparently this is a target or like a protease recognition site is somewhat unintuitive. So yep, we can definitely also change that right there, or like just like add a lightning or something to indicate that that's cut off. And then maybe like an extra section, and then down here we have download. So yeah, this is really nice, I think, for navigation and for understanding where you're at, what you're doing right now. I guess it, yeah, okay, so there are still some anomalies with when it appears and when it disappears, but we can figure that out, and now this is running. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now let's see this here. Why does like this first part kind of works, but the second part doesn't want to write. But what is this? Like this is different, right? Okay. Yeah, this is published to PyPy. Okay, yeah, I mean, we kind of do want that, because creating just a component is like, yeah, okay, nice, but we need, like, ideally I would want this to be packaged to a PyPy package, or just a Python package, instead of this directory. Okay. Declare component. So I think this is something we have to look into, but not right now. Right now we are going to create some more documentation. The API and the main application are documented, or well, at least commented, but the Python package isn't, and also the util functions in this aren't either. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Let's just check this one more time. If we go down to Streamlit now, yeah. Still only have this, okay, but for some reason we need to. I see. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have to read that guide later, but I don't think that's too interesting unless you really want to see that right now. Okay, let's comment the util package. So luckily for us, the iGEM guidelines are perfectly fine with using AI if you attribute the respective AIs that you used. And so we are going to do that because that will make commenting this so much easier. Now, just for a quick second here, let's increase this window size just a bit, and then let's see. So we would want this, yep, that's already correct. Please write comments for everything in this file. Do not change the code. This is something that I've seen before where it'll annotate everything, but then during its annotation it kind of gets carried away with writing stuff and changes code. So yeah, this is fine. Is this already ended? It's very good. Okay, we can just copy this, but I don't want to just paste this because I don't know if it's correct. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to create a new file. We're going to call this temp.py. We won't add that to Git, and then we can just paste whatever we want in here, and we can compare these two side by side, and then we can take the changes that we actually want. Okay, imports, yeah, we don't know. No, okay, and this is the temporary file. Everything I want should be moved into this one. Why is there a duplicate code for me? Yeah, okay, no shit. Defines the base directory as the parent of the current file. Yeah, sure. Defines the data directory located one level up from the base directory in a folder named data. Yes. Same thing goes for files. Resources is correct. Opens and loads TMD data from JSON file into a dictionary. Yep. Into a dictionary, and I guess all of these are probably going to be the exact same comment. That's nice. Opens and loads CTEV. That, for example, is incorrect right there. This is not. Yeah, also this is incorrect. This is not amphipathic alpha helical interface peptide. This is autoinhibitory peptide. So yeah, that's why it's important to read this actually. Autoinhibitory peptide data from JSON file. Faster resonance energy transfer is correct. ICD's intercellular domain is also correct. You can just take this and change it right here. This is not cytoplasmic TEV. This is C-terminal end of TEV protease. Same thing goes for this. Yeah, okay, there it did it. N-terminal. Nice. Also, why would you call it restoresis? Where did this happen? Oh my god. Can't type. Need OU resources there. Interesting. N-terminal TEV. Let's just call this the exact same as up there. N-terminal end of TEV protease. Opens and loads TEV protease data from JSON file into a dictionary. That's correct. Opens and loads protease recognition site data from a JSON file into a dictionary. Opens and loads chain color data from JSON file into a dictionary. Opens and loads signal sequences data from a JSON file into a dictionary. And opens and loads tag sequences data from a JSON file into a dictionary. Perfect. So this is just, yeah, correct now. Nice. And it's already commented. So we can now go back and tell this thing to use the next file. Please comment everything in this file. Do not change the code. This time we're gonna add a little bit more, you know, enthusiasm, or well, not enthusiasm, but clarity to that instruction, because apparently last time it didn't understand it. Restore sys directory. Okay. That's gonna be a lot of comments to read. Okay, let's copy this file, paste it into the temp file, and then we can compare the two. Compare temp and antibody search. close this, and we can also close the original. This is the temp directory, and this is the actual one we want to change this to. Okay, so establishes a, let's just make this a bit smaller over here. Establishes a connection to an SQLite database, file named sub.summary all.sqlite located in data dir. Loads data from the main table of the connected SQLite database into a pandas data frame named sub.df, and the same thing for Scampi. This is correct, so we can take these. Defines a list of keywords representing the priority order for different types of PDB files. That's correct. Creates a set of unique PDB IDs, first 5 characters, from the Scampi data frame. Yeah, that's actually incorrect. So what this does is it strips the unnecessary or like extra annotations that Scampi PDBs have. Strips extra annotation of Scampi PDB files to be compatible with regular PDB IDs. Okay, defines a function to get the highest priority file path from a list based on a given priority list of keywords. Creates a dictionary mapping keywords, the keywords from the priority list to their integer priorities. Lower numbers means higher priority. That is exactly what's happening. Okay, defines a nested helper function to determine the priority of a given file path. That's correct. Iterates through the keyword priority pairs in the priority map. Yes. Checks if the keywords is present in the lowercase version of the file name. Yeah, and so, yeah, not file name, but file path. Returns the priority of No, that's correct. Let me just mark this with the to-do because this might be a bug. Checks name instead of path. So this is not high priority right now because we're not using this version anymore. This is for offline usage, and if you go to previous commits, we had full offline usage where we download all of the data beforehand. However, since we're no longer doing this, that's not the biggest priority anyways. Returns the priority if matching keyword is found, and returns a low priority length of list if no keyword matches. That's correct. Okay. Sort the list of paths using the custom key. Yep, that's what's happening. Sort the input list of paths based on their assigned priorities. Yeah, okay. I mean, we don't need this double annotation, right? So this is the same annotation for the exact same code. Returns the first path in sorted list, or none if the list is empty. That's correct. Rid of that. Defines a function to search for antibodies or on an antigen with an option to filter structures. Yes, that's correct. Records current time. Yes. Selects rows from subtab where the antigen name column case insensitive or compound. Yes. Then sorts by affinity. Initializes an empty dictionary to store Scampi data related to the selected PDBs. And initializes an empty dictionary to store file paths for PDBs. Yes, that's what's happening. Iterates through each row in the subtab selection data frame. I mean, yeah. Yes, sure. Empty list for the current PDB ID to store potential file paths. Yes. Delete this one. It's the same thing. Okay, checks if an IMGT formatted PDB file exists for the current PDB ID. If found, adds the IMGT file path to the list. If no, yep. Was found. Checks if the Chothia exists. If neither of those exist, it checks for just any raw PDB file, and if this was found in the subtab structures, then we get it from Scampi. Yes, exactly. Here we change to this, and if this still doesn't exist, we go to ABDB. Yeah, that's correct. If no PDB files were found after checking all sources, sets the entry for the current PDB to an empty string, skips to the next iteration of the loop. If multiple PDB files were found, takes the first one, implicitly the highest priority from get PDBs. Yes. Checks if the current PDB ID is not present in the set of Scampi PDBs. If not, skips the next iteration as there won't be Scampi data. Okay, we can get rid of this one. Selects rows from scampdf where the PDB ID matches the current one. Stores the select Scampi data for the PDB or none if no data is found. That's also correct. Get rid of this. Okay, this block is commented out. Yep. Returns the subdub selection. Let's just take this final block here. I mean, I don't need annotations for, you know, commented code. Defines a function for searching antibodies intended for API use, returning the results of the dictionary, calls the main search antibodies function to get the results. Yep. Okay. Converts this, so this is used in the API as the name and the comment now implies. Perfect. Defines a function for searching antibodies intended for, yep, that's what we already read. Converts the subdub selection data frame to a list of dictionaries where each dictionary represents a row. Returns a dictionary containing the subdub data and search durations in seconds. These are both correct. Okay, very nice. Yeah, so this is pretty good. And now all we need are some function annotations. We're just going to quickly write these ourselves. We don't need to use the AI for that. Yeah, I think function to get the highest priority file path from a list based on a given priority list of keywords. This is, yeah, the list of file paths. And I was going to just now add an annotation, like the type, to say that this has to be type path, but that's already annotated in the function, what do we call it, declaration thing. So we're not going to add that extra. A list of keywords, a sorted list of keywords with their index representing their priority. Lowest index is highest priority. Return file path or none if list is empty. Okay, search antibodies. Yep. Function which searches for antibodies based on an antigen with options to filter structures. However, we're not using this one because we actually go through everything. So yeah, this filter structures, yeah, we probably want to re-implement this because this is what prevented like duplicate results. You have these again. So yeah, we may want to change that. Oh, let's add a to-do right there. This has been in there for quite some time now, simply because, so I'll just quickly finish this, the name of the antigen to search for, / the search string, This doesn't have to be the name necessarily. Currently unsupported. A tuple of PD data frame of the search results. PD data frame of the Scampi results. Let's call this subdup search results. Yeah, these are the file paths, dictionary mapping, PDB IDs to file paths, and the time it took to search. Good. All of this is commented, annotated. And I think we missed one, no? Yeah, this one here. Helper function used to assign priority to a file path. Integer representing priority. The file path. Okay. An API wrapper function around the search function. The search string / antigen name. And I think we can just copy this from right here because it's essentially the same thing. Except I guess it doesn't return. Yeah, never mind, it doesn't actually do this. A dictionary of the subdup results as with the rows being the entries in the dictionary. I think that's good. Okay, I just got a message that one of my teammates pushed a change. Yep, okay, let's see. Okay, let's push this stuff. Wait. commit these changes. Comments. Commit that anyway and push it. Okay. Now we're gonna get an update. Yep. Merge these two. I hope it gives me a thing. Okay. Oh my god, 4 commits received. Jesus. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Show this part. If we search for testosterone target, select the structure, select some chains, and we build the link things. Okay, we get split tyrosine, split protease, very nice. If we turn off the transmembrane design, that doesn't work yet. Okay. What if we change the protease? That works. Yep. Okay. Nice. Curious about this one commit here where it says, let's check that out, guys. Go back to PyCharm. Here it says here that change CD28 to valine because valine is cooler. Let's show the diff. Yeah, I don't think that works. Okay, I guess I have to reselect stuff, of course. Let's do that. Okay, reselect this. Okay, yeah. So how do you trigger that one? Nice. What if you select CD28? What? Oh, does it happen when you switch from Valine to CD28? I see. Jesus. It's only Valine? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I love it though. I'm not gonna remove it. Jesus. Okay, let's quickly find all of these changes because yeah, so let's check out these images really quickly. So we have either TMD, which, yep, or we have TMD 28, which is this one. Okay, and so if I wonder if this is only for CD28 or yeah, okay, so whenever you switch away from Valine. Highly professional right here, guys. Oh god. Okay. See ya. So I guess the issue is that the anchor icon. Yeah, this is one of those state things. So yeah. So if we just quickly go in here and we sorry, I'm communicating with the team on the side. If we create this what? change to CD28 SVG. I guess we would no, we can just do this way. Or I guess we'll be able to call this update sidebar display. Changes TMD icon based on selected TMD. Returns none, which we can also type annotate in here. And then we want to do anchor icons. What's this? 0, 1, 2. So anchor icons 2 is open, and then we can just paste this in here. We'll call this one update anchor icons TMD based on currently selected TMD. And then all we have to do is go down to this selection part where this where's this this is binder structure, linker between TMD and TMD. So here we need this one. Yes, this is the one. If not custom DMD, we want the radio selection, perfect. And then we have on change, we want to run update sidebar display. Save this change. We can always rerun. And now if we go to Valian, it doesn't work. If we go away from Valian, it does work. Well, that's not great. Ah, so I see. Okay, this is the problem. Yeah, okay. We can just do this like this, selected TMD. We'll do this as a string, and then we do if selected TMD is this. Is Baleen. And then down here we just pass it as an argument. Args is I see. Okay. No, we don't pass it as an argument. We read it from. Oh no, this is that issue. Let's find this other one. What's it called? Split protease. Yes. Okay. Yes. So we do it with state, and then on the change we update the protease's state. Okay. Okay. Then yep, we do update here. That's correct. And then we, in the function, we say But in this case, we wouldn't want it on every switch. We would want it only when Valine is selected. So I guess what we could do is, does this thing have an on change? No, it doesn't. Okay, but we could just run this function after this is done. So you do this switch, and then this has a new value, and we can do update sidebar display, and selected TMD is just TMD selection. And then in the function, this should be fine now if we save this. Okay. That doesn't work. Oh, the problem is probably that this is run before that part. Okay. So I guess we'd have to like rerun this sidebar stuff. Let's see, where is this defined? And then we would have to re-update this. So in the update sidebar thing, state.scroll navigation dot. So I'm not sure if you can. I guess we could just call st.rerun here. I mean, it's not ideal, but it might work. Hold on. Oh no. Have we got an infinite loop now? I see. Oh yeah, of course. We only want this to, okay, so let's do this way instead. So if selected TMD is Valine, oops, then we want to set it to this. And if that's not the case, yeah, I guess we'd have to know about the previous state too. So else we set it to this. We can put this comment up here. So we would only want this to be the case if Valine is selected and, well, so yeah, although, okay, we can link these chains, generate those linkers. We see here, okay, this wants CD28, we don't want that, we want, I don't know, FGFR4 and Valine, and that doesn't work. So what we could do is we could implement this change ourselves if we say, because this has a specific key, so if TMD selection, we save it to previous, prev selection is state and then a string chain ID underscore TMD underscore selection, and then we say if TMD selection does not equal prev selection, then we call this. So if it changed, and then we can run st.rerun. Oh, nice, and now it's just not working at all. Yeah, I mean, of course it's not. No, yeah, I know that this doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, because we could have just done it in one line. But, oh, come on. Not getting an update? Huh. So I guess that state is already updated before. So what if instead of doing it up here, we store it down here, so from like the previous change. So now if we change it, no. Okay. And then, no, yeah, okay, no, this might work. If instead of doing it here, sorry, yeah, do it here. Oh, yeah, Nice. Now if we update this to that, it'll say it was previously, okay, I mean it's wrong, but it was previously something else, and now it's that one. If we now switch this one to FGFR3, yep, it works. Okay, awesome. Very good, very good. Okay, and then now we just need to move this part into right here. Okay, and now if we switch to Valine, we have an infinite rerun, which is not ideal. Because it never updates the state selection. But if we just move this part into the update sidebar display, then now we will update this before we rerun, thus allowing us to get some state changes, probably, hopefully. We search for perception. I'm just going to show you what is happening on the browser. Progesterone, we want this one, we want these chains. We want to link these chains in this order. Generate some linkers. And now if we switch to Valine, it didn't work. But it also didn't run forever, so that's already something. Let's get rid of these print statements down here. Because then if we get any print statements, that will show us that it's working. And then if we, yeah, okay, so that's not working. Okay, so there it worked just now. And it does swap it. Now, for some reason, it doesn't update the anchor icon. Oh, I mean, yeah, maybe this is the problem. Yeah, we probably don't want this to update on every change. So let's put these in state instead. If anchor icons not in state dot anchor icons, and then we put the anchor icons there. No, come on. And now we just have to update these. We say state.anchorIcons, state.anchor icons, anchor IDs, anchor, and then here this will be state.anchor icons. Okay. Let's rerun this. First page. Let's see. Progesterone. Select a few chains. We'll only do one for now. Generate a linker for that one, sure. And then, okay, let's see. So if we update the selection to FGFR4, it shows that it updated to FGFR4. If we update to Valine, we get Brickworm. Perfect, and if we switch it away, it works. Nice, nice, it works. Okay, awesome. Now what is it going to be like with 2 chains? Let's see. So I think if either one of these switches to Valine, it should do it. Yes, but only on the switching, which I personally like that. We could change it, but I like that. Okay, awesome. That was worth a few minutes. Might have been 20 minutes right there. Fixed TMD preview switching. And I think that should only be the changes to this. Yes, okay. Push this. Well, it appears that we've both done it now. Let's see. So this is my version, this is the version from server. How does the version from server do it? They... check if it exists, and if it's that, then this does that. And then down here. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing you my IDE, but this is way simpler. And this works. Really? Oh. I mean... let's just check out his version, I guess. Nice. It works. That's good. Okay. Oh no. Wait. Ah, dang it. Okay. Yeah, that should have done it. Okay, but then I guess I'm curious as to why the previous version didn't work. So what's happened? What happens here? Okay, we select this the Veiling. So if we search for TMD selection down here, yep, and then this is the actual like radio button, right? So so yeah, it's going. Okay, just to be sure, let's make sure that there aren't any other changes. No, no, okay. Yeah, okay, fine, I guess this works now. Then let's continue with commenting this stuff. So this is not commented yet. So we can just open this again and do the same thing again. All right. Copy this, throw it in the temp file, and then merge those differences together. Okay, we don't want that. Defines a function to create a new SQLite database, file at the specified path, turns a connection object to create. Yep, that's correct. However, we could, instead of commenting it like this, we can just move this in there. So put that in here, the file path, well, yeah, the file path to the SQLite database. And we can just take this comment, put it here. Defines a function to read data from CSV file. Yeah, I mean, no, let's actually redo this. Please annotate functions in this format. And then we provide the file again. So this was the database interaction. Okay. Yeah. That's looking good. And then what we're actually going to do is, instead of throwing away the previous one, we're going to do 2 temp files. And we can take both changes into account and then see what we prefer. So let's close this one, and then the way we can do this is we click this one first, the one that we want in the middle where most changes are going to be written into, we click second, and then we click the third one, and now we have the middle one here in the middle very nicely. Sorry, I'm going to have to make this a bit wider. Okay, let's check again. Yeah, we don't want this. This is good. So what's the difference here? Oh, this would write it to the right side. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. We can have this extra line. Yep, that makes sense. Yep, sure. Let's take this one, but let's get rid of this extra line. Yep, some more space for readability. It added some lines here, which doesn't make much of a difference. This one annotates it like this, but let's just take this one. Let's get rid of these spaces up here. And let's get rid of this space. And the rest is fine. Tuple containing 2 elements, list of strings representing data rows. Yep, that's fine. And then for this one, that's correct. However, let's see if there are any good comments over here, anything that's unclear. So like it would, yeah, no, I think this is pretty clear. I think this is just complaining about the SQL dialect. Yep. Insert data, connection object, table name, and then the data that you want to insert. Yep, that's correct. It doesn't return anything. New line for clarity. Establish a connection to an existing SQLite database file. Yep, so this is really obvious what this does. None of these are like really new code, right? Like this is stuff that's been coded 1,000 times. So I think it's not too demanding that, like, I wouldn't expect people to not understand this with these annotations. I think that's very much fine. What's the difference here? Oh, just this extra space that it's getting rid of. And I mean, that doesn't make a difference. But sure. Okay. Yeah. Take this one, get rid of the space. This one. What just happened? So get PDBs. Writes it in there. Okay, and then I see. Of course, yes. Why wouldn't it be one huge merge? Let's check everything. That looks fine. That's fine. That's all okay. Yep. So let's just delete these spaces. Or like new lines, I guess they are. Yeah, okay, good. Get rid of these, and that is database annotation all changed. And if we check now, the only thing that should really be changed is, yeah, I mean, this is that extra space back there. Same thing here. If we revert this, that's just spaces. But I don't know. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, we can move on to, yeah, general only has one tiny function. Create a new random hex color string. The output is different from all that are in the input function. Input list. Colors, a list of colors to avoid. A new hex color string. Yeah, I think that's good. And then we can, PDB interaction has a bit more. Please annotate everything and annotate functions as previously demanded. Do not change any existing code. And this will be PDB interaction. There we go. Okay, we can put that in temp. And then we compare temp and PDB interaction. let's see. So this is the current one, this is temp. This just adds a new line. Sure, we can do that. What's this complaining about? Duplicate, yep. Okay. It's fine. Extract chain data from FASTA, formatted string, that's correct. Converts a list of chain dictionaries to a FASTA formatted string. That's also correct. Formatted FASTA sequences from BDB files. And original function modifies the use. Yeah. But this doesn't exist. I mean, sure, we can throw it in here, but function, it's not a stub. It's supposed to be the function, but it doesn't exist right now. Yo. That's exactly what it does. That's also exactly what it does. Okay. Yeah, no, we're not doing this. New lines suck. Everything should be in one line. It's the best code. Trust. Yep, okay. That is PDB interaction annotated. Okay. Which means that everything in this is now completely commented, or at least function annotated. So I think that we're gonna push this. Annotation / commenting, and if we quickly check the GitHub issues, I think this is one of the issues, and we can close this one. Number 13. Push this. Okay, very nice. There we go. All right. Okay, it has been 2 hours already, so I'm gonna take a short break and then I will be back in a bit. See you guys then. Alright guys, I am back, and as you can see I'm building the Docker file. I recompiled the Python image according to Streamlit specifications and their guide, and I think it fixed it. I tested it without the directory in here because obviously that would, like fake it, I guess. And right now I'm trying to rebuild the Docker to see if it'll work. Let me just check if the Docker ignore, if that file contains... Yeah, it doesn't copy the virtual environment. Okay, very good. Because obviously if it did that, then it'd be a bit pointless. And the requirements do list the wheel. Yes, good. Okay, and we're already exporting the layers. Let's see if this works. I really hope it does. Let's get some better lighting going. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we want to do docker run -p. I'm currently only interested in 8501 Mesa Designer. If we open that up, we hopefully don't get an error. Okay, so far so good. Let's see if we get to the point where we can actually start seeing the guideline. Yes, it works. Wonderful. Wonderful. And it also works with the switching of the Proteus design. So if we switch this, yes, nice. Okay, nice. Yeah, it works. Okay, awesome. Wasn't sure there, hoping, but it works. Perfect. Now we can do some Docker cleanup stuff. We can delete the container I just created. And we have this image. We can tag it. Let me just quickly check the hub. We are on 1.5. Well, I think this is a minor change. 1.5.1 should do. So if we Docker image tag this one for upload, designer v1.5.1 dash slim dash all dash slim. Then we can do docker push this image. Perfect. That's now being uploaded. Let me just communicate with the team that it works now. All right, that's actually very nice. Now I want to check one more thing, because I think the GitHub does still contain this directory, right? Yeah, it does contain it, but it also has the correct package now, I think. Oh wait, I didn't push that change. That's not great. Let's push that. And then we can rerun the Docker container with the git pull instead of the copy dot dot. And then let's see if that works. If that works, then I'm happy, because then everything will work. Yeah. Because then we can just add this to git ignore and be fine. Let's check, is it already in there? Yeah, it's technically already in there. So we can just delete this directory from GitHub. Although, I mean, there's, yeah, we can also just leave them there, it's fine. It's a good change, and I think it's interesting. If people somehow stumble across this, they might find this useful. So we're going to leave it in. Another thing. Yeah, that's okay. What's this? GitLab design. Okay, let's build the Docker container which pulls from GitHub, which should be this one. Yes, this clones it. And let's see if that works. So Docker, I guess this wouldn't be necessary because this would just be the default argument. Tag this Mesa Designer Git in this directory. Sure. Oh, doesn't like it. Dash dash file. Oh, we need to build. Although, actually, you know what? No, let's not do it in this directory, just to be extra safe. Let's take a random different directory, just as a desktop, for example. And we're gonna just quickly copy this over there. Then I'm gonna show you guys my Docker desktop window. There we go. Can make that larger. Yeah, so this is a nice little application, and we should have this here now. If we do docker build dash dash file docker file dash t mesa designer dash git in this directory. Nice, it's building it. Yeah, and it pulled it. Oh yeah, okay. I don't know why this is in here. Oh, never mind. No, you know, this makes this correct. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can run this one. Oh, not Docker image run, just Docker run, sorry. Go to the URL. No! Oh, come on. Why? Wait, but this is just completely wrong. Component name? Where did it get this from? Okay. Yeah. Well, that's... Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why does it not work? Yeah, I mean, this is... kind of annoying. Let's try installing that again. Oh, of course. Why would there be... Technically, can we do bash? There we go. It's already installed. We do a -- force reinstall. Let's check the running processes for anything related. Oh. No, okay. Let's run Streamlit, run app main. And if we check out 8502, oh, yeah, I guess that's not being exposed. Dang it. Let's restart this container, see if that works. No, come on. Dang it. It's really annoying. Yeah. okay. We have to investigate this and fix it, because this is very problematic if it doesn't work. Let me actually quickly check if I exit this and we can delete this one, I guess, because it doesn't work. Oh, let's delete the container. No, I want to keep it in case I see figure out what's wrong. Let's open the, so for building the package I just created a new project. I'm gonna open this. We're gonna try to get a quick Streamlit application running in there and see if we can get it to work. Okay, yep, this can all go away. So if we just create a new main file up here, import Streamlit as st, then with st.sidebar from Streamlit scroll navigation. Is not installed? Oh, it's not installed, I guess. Okay, well then install it. Pip install dot slash component template dist, and then this one. Okay, it's installed, and we can now from scroll, I guess it's underscore, scroll navigation, import scroll navbar. We want to do scroll navbar. Yeah, I mean, it should just crash if it doesn't work. So run main. Yeah, perfect, doesn't work. Oh, okay, never mind. This works. Why does this work? Ah! Empty list there, and then let's rerun this. Yeah, so this works. Okay. But why? What's the difference? Is it that it has these directories here? So if we, I don't know, if we remove this folder, if we move this to... Oh, crap. So yeah, this is going to take a while. It's moving more than 10,000 items. Interesting. More than 15,000 items. More than 20. Apparently, the node modules have a lot of files, I guess. Yeah, let's stop this actually. If I just rename this directory, that should also like cause the error, no? Oh, also it's frozen. Nice. Let's see. have to restart the IDE. Yeah. Oh no, okay. I guess PyCharm is just entirely crashing. Let's close PyCharm. Okay, let's kill PyCharm. Yeah, okay, it did not like everything that I just did. Let's try that again. Okay. If I just rename this folder to something else, _10, then we should still have installed the package, no? Okay, yep, there it is. If you run main, we don't get an error. So there's something weird going on. Let me create a new Docker container. Docker run. Let me show you guys this stuff. Docker run Ubuntu -it -i. There we go. How do you start a Docker container interactively? Oh. Stoic Hofstadter. What? No. Downloading a bunch of images here. Don't want this image. Go away. Yes. Oh. Well. There we go. Okay, no command, just IT. So I guess it would have also worked with that. Okay. Now let's open this one's. So this is just Ubuntu. If we open this one's files, we can add to the. I'm currently in root. Let's go into home, just so there's a little less stuff flying around. We can drag and drop this Python package in there. Do we have Python? Probably not. Yeah, okay, Python 3. What? I guess I update. already put this file in there though. Import from this thing. Templates, dist, nothing. I guess can I import the dist folder? Okay, good. apt install Python 3. Yes. We are in Europe. Do I have to? Sure. Berlin. Pip as well. Let's grab that. Interesting. Okay. Well, but it'll work. Should work anyways. Let's go into dist and install this pip install Streamlit the .wheel. Oh, dang it. Streamlit scroll navigation dash none.wheel dash dash break system packages. Getting a comment. Was bedeutet D bzw. L for read, write, execute? Oh, over here, D is directory and L is link. So this is not a real thing at this thing. So this lib file just points to the actual thing. So like a symlink, yeah. If we do ls-la, for example, you see these things, dot and dot dot, are like directories to this current directory and the one above. But if we create a new one, mkdir dir, and we do this again, then we see that dir is of type directory over here. And if we create a link, I think it's just link. Yeah. I don't actually know how though. Okay, so it's really easy. We can just say, yeah, okay. Touch file, and we could say link file dir. Oh, never mind, that's not how you do it. Okay, so we would say link file2. Then now if we do this again, we have a file2 and a file and this directory, which is a type directory. Okay, so let's do pip list and grep nav. Didn't work. Did it fail? Oh, seg fault. Well, that's not great. So I guess you just have to try again sometimes. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if Streamlit should also be installed. Oh, grep. Yeah, okay, but it's installed. Okay. And now if we yeah, actually we didn't have to do this. We can let's actually try something else. Let's git clone do we have git? Yeah, no, okay. App install git. We do git clone. I'm gonna clone that into here. Oh, dot slash mesa. We go into Mesa, we have all of this stuff, okay, and we can now, let's cat the requirements. There we go. This does include the local dependency, okay. If we do pip install dash dash break system packages dash r requirements.txt. Installing a bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff. But it works, hopefully. Yep, it works. Okay. Now if we run, so I guess we're gonna have to probably restart this container. Let's exit this, yes, okay. Oh no. Why is it white? That's interesting. Let's close and restart it. Okay, there we are. It's pretty interesting. Why does it keep turning white? Okay, I'm gonna restart Docker really quickly. Okay, strange. No, yeah, you can see it, okay. Dash IT Ubuntu. Create a new one again? Well, but that's fine actually. We can just clone that again. Then this Python environment is definitely not broken. GitHub.com/ oh, we don't have Git or any of that. Run this, and then we install Python 3 and Git. Now we can do git clone. Wait, is this directory empty? No, probably not. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now let's see. Python 3. Oh, we have to install. Let's install Python 3-pip. Yes. We run pip install -r requirements.txt. Yep, and break system packages.